I'm Hana Bajramovic. I'm from Wilmette, Illinois, and I'm a law student at Yale. The question is, like, how is it that in contract law a state of stress leads to lying, and in criminal law a state of stress leads to honesty? Well, in my career as a lawyer, I hope to work in women's rights and some form of gender equity, gender parity. This summer I'll be at the National Center for Women's Law in DC, doing in their Family Economic Security Department. And what we're working on is raising the minimum wage because a lot of women who have to support families are relying on that.
Why do you care more about women's issues or about social issues?
I think it's social.
I think so too, actually. I mean, I went in initially with, you know, the gendered bent, but I think that,
Should I get this started?
yeah, thanks. You know, I'm in the environmental law clinic and then doing other social things too.
Do you consider that art form? Do you consider law art form? Or is it a science?
Does it have to be either?
Yeah.
No.
What do you think?
I think it has to be one or the other. Well, that's a big difference from your poetry part.
So my mom and my dad were both born in Montenegro. And my dad immigrated like when he was 7. But my mother went to school there and wanted to be a doctor, which was, you know, a rare thing. It was really cool. And she worked really, really hard and wound up going to medical school in Croatia.
Medicine, right? That's both.
Where's mom's art?
Oh, it's an art form.
No, everybody
It's an art form. You know,
I mean, she had a vision of what she wanted, and there was nobody that was going to stop her. And it might be her spirit that sort of influenced me.
But she had the phase of going into architecture, right?
Yeah, remember when I bought all those graph paper pads?
Yeah.
There's still so
That's
many
right.
books in the attic where it's just like little houses that you would draw and where the room would be. And it was the same time that like Dad was drawing the architecture for this house. And so it'd be like, oh, here's where the sofa's gonna go. And here's the TV. And it was just like our family room.
Well, I just remember the houses I would draw that were completely illogically designed. At some point, I really wanted to be a taxi driver. I also wanted to be an astronaut, but those are early ones. But I think going into college, I was still kind of stuck on maybe being a doctor because it was something I had seen modeled. Halfway through, I thought I wanted to do something in the field of English, maybe be a professor of English, maybe work at a magazine. And then eventually it shifted. I think that I found these causes and things that I could really invest into.
I think that we do have fairly good justice system, but we don't have very good equality system.
I think that so much of inequality is hidden between organizations and inside laws and underneath statutes, but I think that the law is an excellent way to shift cultural values. I was first introduced to the poem when I was an undergraduate by one of my favorite professors. We were reading To the Lighthouse, and he suggested pairing the Virginia Woolf book with this Wallace Stevens poem because he thought they shared similar themes of seeking truth. The Idea of Order at Key West by Wallace Stevens. She sang beyond the genius of the sea, the water never formed to mind her voice, like a body, holy body, fluttering its empty sleeves. And yet its mimic motion made constant cry, caused constantly a cry that was not ours, although we understood, inhuman, of the veritable ocean. The sea was not a mask, no more was she. The song and water were not medleyed sound, even if what she sang was what she heard. Since what she sang was uttered word by word, it may be that in all her phrases stirred the grinding water and the gasping wind. But it was she and not the sea we heard. For she was the maker of the song she sang. The ever-hooded, tragic-gestured sea was merely a place by which she walked to sing. Whose spirit is this? We said, because we knew it was the spirit that we sought and knew that we should ask this often as she sang. If it was only the dark voice of the sea that rose, or even colored by many waves, if it was only the outer voice of sky and cloud, of the sunken coral water walled, however clear, it would have been deep air, the heaving speech of air, a summer sound repeated in a summer without end, and sound alone. But it was more than that. More even than her voice, and ours, among the meaningless plungings of water and the wind, theatrical distances, bronze shadows heaped on high horizons, mountainous atmospheres of sky and sea. It was her voice that made the sky acutest at its vanishing. She measured to the hour its solitude. She was the single artificer of the world in which she sang. And when she sang, the sea, whatever self it had, became the self that was her song, for she was the maker. Then we, as we beheld her striding there alone, knew that there never was a world for her, except the one she sang and, singing, made. Ramon Fernandez, tell me if you know why, when the singing ended and we turned toward the town, tell why the glassy lights, the lights in the fishing boats at anchor there, as the night descended tilting in the air, mastered the night and portioned out the sea, fixing emblazoned zones and fiery poles, arranging, deepening, enchanting night. Oh, blessed rage for order, pale Ramon, the maker's rage to order words of the sea, words of the fragrant portals dimly starred, and of ourselves and of our origins, in ghostlier demarcations, keener sounds. I am fascinated with the way it deals with what it calls the rage to order. Earlier, as an undergraduate, I studied neurobiology, and I think a lot of that was this desire to unpack the workings of the mind, or to figure out why people think the way they think, or why they feel the way they feel. And it was then that I thought that maybe all of this unraveling and dissecting simplifies, the magic of reality. And so that was sort of my first rage to order. My rage to order is my desire to, have everything organized and planned. I one time told a friend that we were planning to be spontaneous that night, and she said, "You don't understand how that works." I worry that I don't embrace spontaneity and fluidness enough, and that I try to structure things too much, because as Stevens tells us, when we order and structure, something is lost. I think the poem positions sea next to she, and then the audience in between the two. The audience in this case being the narrator of the poem. The sea to me is both the external world and one's own internal world. The she is the interpreter of that, whether that's the artist or the neurobiologist, and then the audience takes in both that external world or internal world. That doesn't necessarily negate the reality of the sea. It's still there beneath the song.